Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Rudolph, and this is the second attempt at this little interview that we are doing on the Mare Divide music video. I keep calling it Mare Divide.
That's the project name. It was
Yeah.
Mare Divide, so we'll let it slide. But the official release name is, just New Divide, MLP, Linkin Park, Soviets, whatever cover. So you're allowed to call it Mare Divide. I mean, we call it Mare Divide.
Hasbro actually did a crossover of My Little Pony and Transformers way back when. I don't know when that was. It was in the late 2010s, actually.
Oh yeah, it was like a Pony Optimus Prime.
I think that it was just the ponies interacting with the Transformers.
Well, there was the comics from IDW.
Oh, really?
Yep.
They had a real good opportunity to really fuse the two franchises together. That would have been fun. Which is kind of like what we did here, actually. One minute I'm just browsing the MLP Discord server. Next minute I see that there's Mare Divide. The minute after that, suddenly I'm making a thumbnail for it. And the music video for this is actually really, really cool. I don't know anything about AI or anything like that. The most that I know about it is what we did with my sketches while we were developing the thumbnail, just putting in the sketches and making a whole bunch of different renders and different versions of it to get some ideas of it. But I'm really interested to know how you got this continuous rendering effect done for this music video.
So, it is a technique known as deforum, and it is a algorithm or a technique done in Stable Diffusion Pandela.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so with deforum, what you do is that you give the AI a prompt and it'll continuously make like a shifting picture and keep making image after image after image after image for like a set amount of frames that you give it. And there are parameters that you could set into deforum to where you can have it transform, like move off into the left or move into the right or have it zoom out. Or what we did for this video is that we had it zoom in. So you set that setting where it zooms in and it's creating a new picture based on like the one before it, and it makes another one and the one before it, and then it zooms in a little bit, and you get that zooming effect where you just keep going and diving in deeper and deeper and deeper as the picture and scene changes all around it.
It just iterates through all the different seeds inside of the three-dimensional latent space that it has. Pretty much what Potter said, yeah.
So it's just continual rendering and iterations and rendering and iterations. And
Essentially, yeah.
I like to call it art telephone.
one of the most notable things about it, one of my favorite things at least, is that it's not just random images. It seems like that there is a story behind the progression of images.
Mm-hmm.
We start out with futuristic cities, and it goes into a lot of depictions of war and fucking lasers flying around everywhere, and a lot of trippy visuals, again, as we stated before. But at the very end, it goes into this very Gen 1 type of feel with all of the castles and the nature, and then it eventually just goes off into space.
Oh yeah, towards the end. Yeah.
So what was the thought process behind that?
So I originally wanted to make this little music video, make it like a little collab project for the server, or maybe by extension by the board, but I think that is way too ambitious, way up there to get, some participation going. So I originally came into this project thinking, hey, there's like artists and music and producer people that are in the server. Why not, lend in a hand? We could do like a music video to go with it. And when I like put out the idea and the casting call for it, everybody just like told me to go fuck myself. And I didn't necessarily like that. And I was like, well, great. You know what? Since this is done with the AI voices, why not I make like, an AI video? Or like the intention was like, we're not going to get like animators, right? So we could at least get the artists to like draw scenes, and we could feed that into Stable Diffusion and see what Stable Diffusion can like come up with, and maybe make music videos out of other people's like art or samples or little animated GIFs or whatever.
Because originally we didn't even know if you were going to be able to have anybody that would be able to put the time into animating it.
Yeah. Like, there's that one schizo that you suggested me where he does, like, fucking MS Paint. Shitty animations. He's an actual schizo. And I'm like, I don't think I can count on this guy. Or have him be the one sole animator to, like, do this. I think I'm gonna pass on him. So I just at least maybe get like drawings or art. But nobody answered the call. Nobody wanted to take any part of it. In fact, they were like, what? Actually doing things in the server? Fuck that. Who the fuck actually draws? Who would even do anything? This project sucks. Oh, it's New Divide? Why didn't you pick like a better song or a different song? I got like comments like that and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's brutal.
It was. So that's what, you know, gave me the whole little stink. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna like do this music video entirely in AI.
And it turned out to come out pretty well.
Yeah.
Pandy, didn't you show me that same schizo actually made an SFM music video, or was that a different guy?
That was a different guy. Yeah, that the other guy that made the SFM thing is just autistic.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're a very neurodivergent fandom.
Yep.
I remember in our last interview that brought us to the topic of Marco, or whatever his name is. With
Markaya? Yeah, I could look him
Yeah.
up again to get his exact name.
He does all sorts of comic dubs using the same technology, and he even did a cover of somebody that I used to know with Mordetwai.
Yep.
If we can please let that meme die.
Oh no, it's not gonna die. I mean, I'm looking at it right now as the time of this recording. It's already up to like, but our last interview that got corrupted, it was like in the 300,000s. Now it's like in the 542K.
Oh my dear good God.
Yeah, it is blown up, dude. You have no idea. I saw it when it came out and it was blowing up. I was like, holy shit, it's already like 3,000 in the first day, 30,000, 300,000, dude.
Shit like that makes me smile so much. I love it, love it, love it when G4 stuff blows up like this all over again. There's some things to be said about G5. I'm not as reactionary towards it as I once was, but we all know that we're here because of G4 and for G4. I just hate that Twilight's most popular ship is with Mordecai, all because of a shit post on DeviantArt.
Yeah. But I mean, it also exemplifies like the era of that early 2010s where there was like that silver kind of cartoon age of TV where people were watching Adventure Time and Ponies and Gravity Falls and Regular Show. It was those popular shows at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when you combine those two with like a super hit blowout song, one hit wonder that was somebody that I used to know. It's just, you know, that like what, 2013, 2012 just encapsulated into this one video.
It certainly is nostalgic. I don't really think of My Little Pony and Regular Show and like Gravity Falls all overlapping in the same era, but they actually kind of did, didn't they?
They all were all lived in their own prime around the same time.
Coming back to the topic at hand, that Mordetwai video is phenomenal, not only in terms of animation, but just because the voices are just so accurate. There's very little noise in the voices. Granted, I'm sure that he recorded and re-recorded all over again.
Oh yeah.
But even with the Mare Divide video, the voices sound pretty spot on, minus a few nitpicks here or there. I cannot believe just how quickly AI is developing, not only in terms of artwork, but also just in terms of emulating voice actors, emulating characters, and all that. Pandy, you're the AI guy. Can you tell us a little bit about how AI voice work got to this point?
I mean, really, it's been the dedication of this fandom that's been pushing a lot of the streamlining, like the interface and the user friendliness of it all. Because I mean, we got a lot of data to work with too, and a lot of time. But I mean, I don't know all the complete technical aspects of the tech personally.
I mean, this one, Mare Divide, was made with Sovitz. And if I remember correctly, Sovitz is the second generation of AI voice work.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a different one that we used.
Oh, TalkNet.
TalkNet, yeah. There's also 15 AI, but that's kind of gone under the radar, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. On top of that, it was It was like text based.
Oh,
Yeah, it was entirely text based.
Although the only difference with his that none of the other ones have is that you can use emojis to set the emotion of the sentence. You know, like if you put an angry emoji and shit, it would make them sound angry and whatnot.
that's wild. I'm going to have to check that out if it ever reemerges again.
Yeah, funny you say that if it ever reemerges, because 15 AI, it was known, when it was really popular and everybody was using it, it would like go up and go down, go up and go down. Server's up, everybody uses it for like a week, and the server goes back down, and everybody's like, where's 15 AI? Where'd he go? And there would be like this drama and like stolen technology and shit that would go on with his tech and what he's done. I believe it was it Uberduck?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know more about that, Pandela, right? About Uberduck?
I don't know more about it than probably you do. I just know it was another competitor.
Are you trying to tell me that 15 AI is the yandere dev of the pony community?
The Yandere dev? Well, he actually finished a project and people used it, so I wouldn't say that.
True. I suppose I should give him credit.
Oh yeah, you should give him tons of credit. He was the one that like kickstarted the whole like MLP side of the AI stuff.
What was he involved with the Pony Preservation Project? I thought that's where it came from.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Wait, okay, so is the Pony Preservation Project and the whole end goal of using AI to make more G4 content, is that the same thing? Are they interconnected?
It kind of is. The main vision or the main goal of PPP is like the ultimate goal is to make our own episodes. And through that we got the voices down. And then I think they're trying to figure out how to make like automated generated scripts. And then the latest ambitious thing that I heard that's in the works that they're trying to figure out is that we do have the flash assets of the show. And they're trying to make an AI generate like show accurate animation with the puppets.
Oh, using AI?
Yeah.
That sounds like it'd be rather difficult when it messes up, because G4 is made in Flash, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. They're extracting each individual Flash asset. They're reverse engineering the Adobe Flash format of the FLA format so that they can extract all the SVGs and assets out of it and preserve all the motion tweens and whatnot. And they're going to be using that as part of a data set.
Interesting.
Like it had something to do with like they would train the AI and how each Flash puppet or SAS asset would like interact with each other. Like say a walk cycle, and you have like a computer try to detect like a pattern. Oh, is this how like a pony walks? And they see shoulder and hip and back, they like move like this for a walk cycle in tandem.
People are already doing similar shit with like the AI SpongeBob and the AI Seinfeld that's just in a three-dimensional space instead of two-dimensional space. It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time until Mare returns to the people. I mean, I could imagine that the AI would mess up here or there and accidentally create like a fifth leg in the back or something like that, and somebody would have to go in and edit it out. I mean, Poner and I were talking about this last interview where AI art generation and even the music video itself requires a human touch in order to become like coherent and become a piece of artwork. The extent of which you have to edit that piece of art until it becomes your own is subject to interpretation and up to everybody's own opinion. But yeah, it sounds certainly more like a tool that's going to be used, that's still going to require human animators to make sure everything flows properly, rather than just a click, new episode.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. That would take the fun out of it anyway.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. I know that we had an absolute blast making different interpretations of this thumbnail, going, oh, look at the explosions, look at the sky on this one, Rainbow Dash has Twilight's colors, look at that one. It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. And then Pandela was playing Linkle in Breath of the Wild the whole time.
Oh yeah, don't you want to explain to the viewer of what exactly we were doing for the thumbnail?
Right. So, when it came to making the thumbnail for this video, I was instantly hit with a challenge, because most thumbnails are relatively simple in composition, right? There has to be one or two elements. Text is not a requirement, but it's often a good thing to put in there, and it has to be clear and readable with like bright colors and stuff like that to catch the viewer's attention. So now with the text and the colors, it was was straightforward. It's New Divide and it's ponies. But they're also Transformers ponies. And on top of that, it's Twilight and Rainbow Dash, two very different ponies in terms of, just the body, especially after we got the premise of the thumbnail out of the way. While we were talking, you said you wanted Rainbow Dash to be more biological in form, and you wanted Twilight to be more robotic in form. So I thought that it was going to be complicated finding the composition for it. Really, the second pass through, which is what you guys are watching right now, is what we went with. But the bulk of the thumbnail was really narrowing down just how much I wanted to put into it, because these are very bright and colorful characters, and Rainbow Dash especially is a complicated character in terms of color scheme and how to balance that out with Twilight being very monochromatic. It was difficult. I remember you wanting there to be like a war going on in the background. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how much to put in the background. At one point in time, especially before I started recording this thumbnail, I was going to put Celestia and Luna fighting a Devastator Tyrek in the background. And at another point where it says Mare Divide, I was going to put Sweetie Bot as a nice little reference. And I think I'm still going to do that for the print version of this thumbnail, which there will be a print version at some point in time. I just have to figure out how to set up a display. They're not opening stores, unfortunately, at the moment, but that's besides the point. Yeah, there was really the main difficulty with this thumbnail was really just nailing down the nitty-gritty details. And eventually, what worked for me was I photo bashed and painted over a couple of different interpretations of the sky and the background that the AI had generated, and kept Canterlot in the background just as a little visual motif for the thumbnail, and just left it at that because it's a thumbnail. Ultimately, people are going to look at Rainbow Dash and they're going to look at Twilight, and then they're going to click.
Didn't at one point when you were drawing the thumbnail, I asked for what you had and then just kind of chucked it into the AI and saw what it could churn out?
That was the first time I had ever done that.
Oh yeah, it was the first time for all of us.
I think we used ControlNet, right?
Yeah, it was ControlNet on top of...
Yeah, it was the first time any of us using ControlNet too. And it was like it went from that to Sketch to AI and then back to drawing the complete image, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I remember you would use like some different parts and bits and pieces from the AI art and start incorporating it into your art to like quickly get colors and materials and textures and just like ideas and stuff.
I eventually did do that for Rainbow Dash's main, especially. Mainly because it was difficult for me to really convey the structure of her main without it turning into a colorful soup. So that texture was really, really good. On top of that, I think that the largest thing that I took from the AI was Twilight herself. The entire base of Twilight, as you guys can see on the speed paint right now, was created by the AI that we were using at the time, and I simply painted over that. And I think that I hit it fairly well considering the time restraints that I was working with. This thumbnail sat in my Clipsito paint for about a week while I was at work, and then the 2 days before the video came out, I was grinding away at this thumbnail, and Twilight was made in about a day, which is fairly quick for me. So, as much as I have not made up my mind about AI generated content, and as much of a controversial topic as it's going to be in the future, it really saved my ass this time around. And I think that it was quite appropriate given the context and the nature of this little project that we were working on.
Yeah, it became like a man and machine working together. While in the video, it was mare versus machine.
Technology is progress. Progress towards the what? Stay tuned. Next episode on My Little Transformers Allspark Michael Bay. Oh yeah, that was another aspect that we discussed very early on. I wanted to pay homage to the Bayverse Transformers. As low quality as they are a foundational core memory of mine from the early 2000s, and I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the first two movies. And on top of that, I also took from War for Cybertron. I think that it's peak Transformers, just in terms of art style. So those two influences from Transformers combined with the ponies, I think really brought the visual style of this thumbnail to life. And it's going to be really fun figuring out how I can incorporate that in different ways while I make the print version of this thumbnail in the near future. So going all the way back before the project itself, Poner, I remember you talking about how you would do music on the side.
That I do.
So that led to you creating this music video because you didn't really like your voice.
Yeah. I loathe the sound of my own voice. I do not like it. And in fact, I'm actually working on another cover project that's not going to be uploaded to the server anymore because, hint, hint, it has no hooves. So I just, my singing is also pretty bad. I think it's bad. I can't hit some of these notes or anything like that, and I just hate hearing the sound of my own voice. Yeah, that's most people, but like mine, I especially hate it. Like I just do not like it at all. Especially when I was like working and mixing and everything, and I hear myself and I'm like, oh my god, like no matter how many effects or pitch correction and everything like that, I just hate hearing myself. And I just want to like get this mix and project over and done with, that way I don't have to keep hearing myself anymore. It would be like that. So even like my songs or projects would suffer to where I just try to get them done as fast as I can, as efficiently as possible, that way I don't have to keep hearing myself anymore. So now with the AI, I could just use, I would sing the song, but it would be used as a reference for the AI, and then it would be like, for New Divide, for example, it's Rainbow Dash and Twilight singing it.
I think that you really nailed something here. You said that you couldn't really hit these notes. Are you not trained in vocals?
I'm amateur. I'm amateurish. I can sing. I do stay on pitch. Like, I'm not completely tone deaf. I still have a musical ear. I can at least, sing along with, the singer and vocals. But, like, for notes that are, like, outside of my range, what I would do, actually, is that I would sing an octave lower, an octave below the actual notes of the singer. And then in Sovets, you could pitch to where the AI sings an octave up. So when it comes out, then it comes out the correct pitch and the correct notes of the original song.
So essentially, you were playing 4D chess with the music theory and tweaking things around.
Yes.
Oh.
And then even
okay.
then, I would edit, I would still edit and do multiple takes. And I would still, go in and pitch correct, because you see Soviets and, stuff like RVC, that's, the new AI that's out and on the block, is that it's a double-edged sword. It puts out what you put in. Like, if you sing good, it'll sing good. If you sing bad, it'll sing bad. So even though there are like these people, they try to do their own covers with their own recordings, and then they complain, what the fuck? Why does it sound like trash? And I'm like, well, I think that's an unironic actual skill issue, to where you just sing bad. And of course it's going to come out bad. Or like artifacting stuff. How's your recording environment? Was your dad like mowing the lawn in the background? Or was there like a police shooting right outside your house or whatever? Your mic is going to pick that up. And whatever the AI picks up, that's what it's going to translate. So you're going to get like some garbage or some room noise or stuff like that. So you still have to have a good recording environment. But people don't do that. At least a majority of people with this, with this tool. What I see a lot of what people are doing with, with Sovets and RVC is that they just feed it the direct acapellas of the songs that they're doing a cover on, which is, it sounds terrible and it's lazy in my opinion. It's not as good. It's terrible. Like, say they want to cover Harry Styles, like, or whatever the hit song is right now, or, off the top of my head, Dua Lipa. If they want to play Don't Start Now or Don't Get Up or Levitating or whatever, what they would do is that they would just get the acapella and just shove it in, and they don't do any editing, or they don't try to clean it up, because the acapellas, they still have like the double tracks, they still have the backing vocals, and they still have the effects like reverb and delay going on, or modulation on those vocals. So it ends up like messing up and kind of artifacting the AI when it tries to translate that. And another thing too, it's singing like the same exact way that the singer is doing it. Like, take Michael Jackson and you put it into a Sonic model or a Will Smith model, I don't know, they're going to sing it like the same exact way that Michael Jackson sang it. So you're not really listening like Sonic himself singing his rendition of Beat It, or you're not, like, one example for what I did on one of my other AI covers is like Twilight singing Levitating by Dua Lipa. I could have just took the acapellas and just shoved it in the Twilight model and then bing bang boom. But you're going to still hear like how Dua Lipa, how the thing is like edited, how it sounded, but it's just with like a Twilight coat of paint. You're not really hearing Twilight Sparkle herself sing a cover of Levitating Dua Lipa. You kind of know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have the character. You're just hearing like the song reskinned, in essence.
That makes a lot of sense. These singers are making their music with their voice in mind, and the auditory tricks that they're using with their voice while they're singing the lyrics is their voice in mind. And if you just translate that to a mare, it's not going to sound right because it's not the character.
Yeah, that's not the character. Like, what's another artist? Like, take a song, Avril Lavigne or something. Would Twilight sing Avril Lavigne? Like, she's a skater boy, she said see you later boy? That would totally be something, I don't know, like Rainbow Dash would sing. But even when you, like, do that, you're really kind of hearing, like, the style of Avril Lavigne. Or Avril Lavigne? Am I getting that name wrong?
I always called her Avril Lavigne, but...
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. But it's like, who cares? Yeah, I totally get you. It's
you lose like that personality. You're getting like Michael Jackson, or you're getting Dua Lipa's personality and like their singing style, but you're not getting, Twilight singing.
It's interesting. There has to be a lot of consideration for the song choice, the character that's singing the song, how the character would sing the song, and how the person specifically plays that character while they're singing the song. There's a lot of different layers here that just are completely ignored if you just throw in the acapella of the original singer.
You got to play in character. You got to be in character to like really sell it.
So how did that play into Mare Divide?
So I was thinking of, doing Rainbow Dash and maybe breaking it up with Twilight, because you don't want to keep hearing Rainbow Dash's voice constantly. So I decided to like make it more interesting by having it kind of like a duet, even though I tried my darndest in the mix to try to get the listener to recognize, oh, that is Rainbow Dash and Twilight singing. But there's just like some limitations to that, because they all they sit in that kind of like mare voice range where it's kind of hard to like separate. But with my ear and headphones and everything, like I could piece them out. But I do know there is like a difference when you have like double tracked Rainbow Dash singing and then you have Rainbow Dash and Twilight tracked together. You get like Twilight kind of smooths out the harshness that Rainbow Dash gives in their voice. So there might be something to that. But you do recognize that it's like, okay, double track Rainbow Dash, it's like more Rainbow Dash. And then so when it comes to singing them in character, on my part, I just kind of sang it the way that I would sing it, but just like clearly and just, enough, effort to where, you're singing, you're still belting it for the AI to take, and the AI kind of uses, what the model can do with that reference. And when it came to the bridge, that was when, okay, I think this here, I can have Twilight sing solo. That way she has her like time to shine instead of being, double track with Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash just completely overtakes her auditorially. But Twilight has that kind of smooth, like legato. Well, I wouldn't say legato. I don't know what the word is, but kind of like a creamy, smooth, like kind of Disney princess sound to her when she's saying that. And then the chorus comes back with Rainbow Dash, with the harsh vocals and, singing it with, oomph or with intent, right?
This whole topic of AI songs using the pony characters is bringing my mind all the way back to the fandom making their own pony episodes. We have iconic songs from the show like Smile, we got Open Your Eyes from the movie, and all sorts of other different ones. I think that if we were to make our own episodes, we naturally would have to have a few songs here and there. So I don't think that this is a topic or a side of the fandom or just a creative form of covers that's going to die out anytime soon. I think that as this technology progresses, especially, it's just going to become more and more frequent. And honestly, I'm super excited that we managed to get an early iteration of this type of cover out onto the channel when we did. And I think that it's doing fairly well. As of the time of this recording, it's at about 500 views.
Hey, 500 Pandela.
Wow.
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 The last I checked, the Dua Lipa Talknet Twilight cover hit 11K. You see, also another thing too that I found out, is if you want views, it really is what comes down to it. I think it's like you just have to already have that clout, and it has to be like the current thing.
Yeah, chasing trends has always been outside of my wheelhouse. I mean, there's a dark wizard money gang going around now, and I think that that's pretty fucking funny. I might make a small little piece of artwork for that, but even when it came to like Mauschly, people wanted me to draw it, and I'm like, I've never chased trends or anything like that. I've always been much more nostalgic in my tastes. I'm going to be watching a movie called Sweet Home later today, which inspired the entire Resident Evil franchise, and that's going to be a whole series on this channel as well later on. And even with things like Mare Divide, Somebody That I Used to Know, Adventure Time, and even like Ed, Ed and Eddie and stuff like that, I'm very much living in the past, should I say. I'm a boomer, is what I'm trying to say, when it comes to these types of things. Honestly, I think that we're going to hit some sort of a soft renaissance, so to speak, when it comes to these types of things, with like Mortitwai, with Mare Divide, and with all the other covers that are coming out, where the 2000s nostalgia will hit. I think that we're getting a little bit into the 90s nostalgia now. I know that Marvel really hit that 80s nostalgia a little hard with their Thor movies and with Guardians of the Galaxy and the movies like that.
Oh, I thought we were already doing like 90s nostalgia since like 2010s or late 2000s. People were already getting nostalgic for the 90s. I remember especially during the 2010s. Really, I kind of see the 2000s is now making its roundabout, having its day of like nostalgia, like Tamagotchis and first, Halo Combat Evolved, IPs like that.
I just watched my friend hacking their Tamagotchi today.
Yeah, you see.
I can't wait until PCs with clear colored cases start coming out. Just candy colored clear cases. I want a PS5 controller that's clear and I can see all the colorful technology inside, and they have like little colored buttons.
I had those. I had that clear wireless PlayStation 2 controller.
You know what? Actually, I want to see a Sweetie Bot built like that.
Oh, clear plastic, and you see all the boards and chips and transistors and everything?
Yes, I want a clear, plastic, colorful Sweetie Bot where I could see all the gears inside move as she walks. It's cool.
That's a little lewd, but alright.
Oh, yeah. Show me those transistors.
Show me that PCB, girl.
Fucking hell. Well, I think the fandom is looking up, all things considered. I'm seeing a lot of doomers on the board.
It comes in like waves, or it's like a rotation. Like, I thought we already went through this whole like, secondary fandom renaissance when the show ended. And then, the PPP kickstarted from like that very first thread that I saw, popped out, came out of the womb, the canal, and grew up into what it is now. And then now with like G%, we got some like new artists or new content people that came out. Yeah, we're still going through that. There's still some stuff coming out. Just, not as much as, back in the heyday of, 2011, 12, 13, 14, and arguably even 15. But it was especially that 2012, 2013 era where it was like booming and popping. Oh my god, it was a lot.
Yeah, well, that was just the previous generation of the internet.
Yeah, now times changed.
Now we are in an entirely new era of the internet, and we're about to enter another era of the internet with VR, if Apple headset actually does take off with the upper class, because God knows I'm not going to be able to get that.
Oh, bro, I've been hitting it up in like VR so much. Like VR chat, I am all about VR chat. I can't get away from it. I'm sucked in.
Are there good pony models for VR chat?
Yes.
I was not in the fandom when I got into VR chat, and I have a VR headset that my friend gave me, but I'm just missing a cable for it. Pandy, what do you think about the fandom? Do you think things are looking up?
I think things will get a little better from here, and then I think it'll rise and flip. I don't know, man. It's gonna go up and down. It's kind of a subjective question, honestly. Like, look at every other fandom, they all have their ups and downs, but we stayed pretty steady. There's a lot of doomers that say the fandom's dying, but I disagree.
Isn't /MLP one of the most popular boards on 4chan?
Is it?
We're the only fandom that got around board.
Yeah, that we are.
I think it's top 5. I remember someone saying that the MLP boards were top 5 on the entire website. So it's still going pretty steady.
Incredibly blessed.
Honestly, incredible.
And it's only going to get bigger once we start making our own little episodes. Do we have an episode made?
Well, there are like fan-made ones that are edited by people and stuff, but not like, like the show where they're moving and talking and music and all that production and everything. But there have been like some fan-made ones where it's, kind of like with little clips or puppets or what have you that do use the AI voices. And the script for those is like a fan fiction, I think. And they're kind of like done in like an animatic style.
Coming close to the end here, but there's a couple more things that I want to ask. One of those things being, what other songs do you want to cover in the near future, and what characters would sing those songs?
Oh my god, the possibilities are endless. I even have this other friend that was trying to use the Applejack model to sing some country songs, and he told me that it's kind of rough, and I have yet to try it myself. But when he was like trying to suggest Applejack, I was like thinking of songs to do for Applejack, and I was thinking of doing some stuff by Shania Twain, where you could do like, not just a pretty face or, Up, or I'm Gonna Get You Good. Those songs from that Up album by Shania Twain. I could probably do that with Applejack. And then there was other songs I'm like thinking for Rarity, and it's like probably, stuff like Rihanna and Lady Gaga songs, right? For Rarity.
Evanescence would be really good for Goth Shy.
Goth Shy. Wake me up inside. The one that I have in the works or in the back burner for right now is like another Linkin Park song, which is What I've Done.
Oh!
Yeah. I'm working on a What I've Done cover.
A man after my own heart.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just... I mean, nobody can sing like Chester. You can't. Chester is his own guy.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, like, when you try to do a cover of, Linkin Park songs, it's like... you kind of can't, because you just want to try to replicate Chester, but nobody can be Chester. But... I mean, also, Mike Shinoda, he has his own sound, too. I mean, he raps and everything like that. But, I mean, the frontman, Chester, nobody can, like, sing like him.
Just going back to the characters singing the songs, Linkin Park does kind of narrow it down, because really the only pony that I could see doing Mike Shinoda's vocals is Rainbow Dash.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think that she is just the best fitting one for obvious reasons. With Chester's vocals, I think that it's just best if the vocalist does their own thing rather than trying to be like Chester and just give it its own identity. Well, I mean, obviously they gotta stay in character, considering, the context. Whatever different pony that they use would be up to them personally. But yeah, what are you thinking for What I've Done? Is it going to be the same type of thing with New Divide, where it's an AI music video?
Well, I'm thinking this one is like to test out the new toy that we made, and I did say earlier in the interview that it is no hooves. And then, given what the song is about, What I've Done, I think it gives you a pretty strong hint of who's singing it, or who's covering it.
Okay, well, you heard it here first, folks. Poner is banned from the fandom.
I burned me at the cross yet again.
He's committed the ultimate sin of no hooves. He is a Barbie fag. Scarlet Letter, a Pandy, you get the cross, I'll get the fire.
Let's go.
It's gonna be like the beginning of Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. I was thinking of, like, torturing me like Reservoir Dogs, where you just, like, shoot my legs or cut my ear off and then douse me in gasoline.
That's another thing that we talked about in the previous interview. Pony modding for video games is going to be fucking fantastic if we can find somebody who can do it.
Oh, Pandela, didn't you tell me what the furries are doing?
I don't remember.
No, all right. So the other day, Pandela told me that they're paying the original GameCube voice actress for Crystal, and they're doing a whole mod to replace Alex in Half-Life with Crystal.
What?
Yeah, as far as going, like, replacing her lines in the voice files of the game, swapping him out for Crystal saying those same lines.
It's like the original Crystal.
And they're paying the original voice actress for this?
Yes, and she already did it. It's all done.
Wow. I didn't think that was legal. I thought that there'd be like contracts involved with stuff like that. That's awesome. Isn't there a Skyrim mod or a Fallout mod?
Yeah, I think I remember telling you in the last interview is that there was a Skyrim mod to where they integrated like ChatGPT to where you can actually talk with the NPCs and the NPCs can like talk back to you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they would have like I think you would have to like type to them, or you would talk into the microphone and it takes speech to text. Then it goes through ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT makes a response, and that goes through a text-to-speech into an AI-generated like NPC voice, and that goes out through the NPC back to you in the game.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about all the games I could do that with.
That's fucking wild, dude. And that's just a mod. Imagine what actual developers are going to be capable of doing if they integrate that into the engine.
That I told you too in the last interview that got corrupted and lost to time, is that there's already what is it, like an Oculus game or a VR game that they're making, or I think it's already out. I don't know, but it's a golf game, and you have a caddy that follows you around while you golf, and you can have that interaction with the caddy to where he's AI. And you can have that back and forth with him.
Fuck. That's madness, dude.
My body is ready.
Pretty soon, we're just going to be able to interact with our favorite characters. Like, as if they're just real people.
It's a little dark future, isn't it?
It is a very, very shiny cyber apocalypse we are about to enter. And I am all ready for it. My doomer ass is ready.
Oh, nice.
I want to coordinate with Twilight as I plan to take down a settlement of super mutants with a fat boy. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I mean, if Todd Howard ever makes a fucking decent Fallout game again, but that's a conversation for a different time. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about before we end things off?
There was, the ideas of the music video and how those turned out and why the story or the scenes as they progressed. So I was trying to like brainstorm what to do for the music video, and I remember one of the guys in like the server, they put out that idea where it's like, hey, can you like maybe at least put out a storyboard and maybe people can like take little scenes out of it. And I was like, okay. So I listened to the music video and I was time stamping like what happens this and what happens there, and then at this part of the song, this scene, this part of the song, that scene, at 1 minute and 29 seconds, this scene, it looks like this and that. So I made that storyboard, and that storyboard saved my ass in the production of this AI music video. So how it works in Stable Diffusion with Deform is that you set how many frames of video, like you don't put in seconds or minutes, you have to put in like time as in frames for the video to generate, and then you label in, okay, from frame 0 it creates this picture, you give it a prompt, and then somewhere in the middle you put in, okay, at frame 480, and you have to do a bunch of math too, to where it's like if the video is going at 24 frames a second, and then each iteration is like going to be 6 frames before it creates like the next picture. Then you calculate, okay, so if it's going to be at like 480, then that's like 5 seconds. So at the 5 second mark, it starts creating this picture. And then you go on from there. So I was doing that, translating the timestamps that I made into frames, and made all those prompts to have that like progression that it did for the music video. And I was looking at, things change, and I'm like thinking, okay, where do I go from here? If it goes from like a battle scene and then go back to like a city and then back to a battle, and then where do I go from here? How can I like make it more keep it interesting to like look at and watch while the song is going? Yeah. So I would try to at least get some semblance of any participation from any other person. And I'm like, hey, does this look good? Or hey, where do you think I could take it from here? Can I like any ideas of what comes up next? Nothing. I got no feedback. Even like the couple of people that I like showed the video, I'm like, hey, what does it look? And like for some people, they just like see it as like this trippy like dreamscape that they just can't like follow. They just like, they get lost. They can't like follow it or whatever because it's just that trippy. There's like nothing else like it before. I mean, I remember when I first watched one of the AI music videos that Linkin Park themselves put out for one of their demos, and it wasn't the Lost music video, but it was their other music videos like Fighting Myself, and turns out Mike Shinoda put out other songs too for like the Scream movie and Halloween, and they did like the same thing to where it was like this scenes and it just kept zooming in, and it was like super cool and trippy. But in those videos, it was like the same kind of scene or same picture generating. So then what I did is that I made it to where it was like a story, to where like, pictures change and morph and it becomes like a tale. So there was like a lot of experimentation and a lot of trial and error and a lot of like reruns and changing of prompts and seeds and everything to try to get the AI to like give you something that looks just right or just good enough for print. But you could only like, I don't know, like do so much yourself. Like honestly, towards the end, I was just kind of like lost. And I was like, oh man, what do I do from here? I mean, it already came to a climax with the super epic battle. Where do I go from here? So then that's where I was like, after all the destruction and desolation, everything just like got reduced to zero to where it's just wastelands. And then from wastelands, it kind of progressed, life finds a way. The ponies come back and rebuild from, wasteland, and then vegetation comes back, life finds a way. And then you start seeing the ponies start showing up again, and then they rebuild to like, the castles. Like I've tried to get like them rebuilding Canterlot, but it pumped out like that G1 style of castles, right? And then it all comes back to the future, where it's like cityscapes again from where we started. Yeah. And then it ends to like off into space.
This stuff is so cool to me, honestly. Yeah, to save you the hassle of finding somebody else to do the thumbnail for what I've done, and just because I don't want my friend to be crucified alone, because you will be crucified. It is a capital sin.
It is, yeah. It's either I put it out online and I will be burned at the stake, or I put it out hush hush in our own little bunker circle group underneath the board sewers. And it'll just like be posted there, and then it will never see the light of day and never get out from the board, and it'll just get lost to time if I do that. And it'll just be like a little personal little gem that I covet, and will just sit in a hard drive collecting dust.
Well, if you do decide to post it online, I will absolutely come back to make the thumbnail for that music video. And I actually just got a couple of ideas that I'd want to talk with you about, to see if we can do something interesting with the music video. But we can do that off the mic.
I was kind of just thinking of, I don't know, just having a picture, and that would just be it. you know, like the album cover or what have you, but I haven't really had plans to make like another music video like this, but I could. I could dust off these fingers again and have Stable Diffusion, see if I still remember how to use it as much as I did.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
All right.
Pandela, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up before we end things off?
No, I'm good. I think we covered everything we needed to.
Alrighty then. Well, I think that we've come to a good natural conclusion to this interview / commentary of the Speedpaint. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you would like to see the music video for Mare Divide, it is linked down in the description below. The thumbnail for the...
It's New Divide, but...
It's New Divide.
It's okay. It's Mare Divide. That was the project. Codename Mare Divide.
If you'd like to see the thumbnail in its full resolution, you can visit my DeviantArt or my Twitter, both linked down below. And if you'd love to see more content like this, as well as reviews of classic movies, classic video games, and other smart-ass content, you can subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for that. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy, rest up, do what you love to do, draw a mare, and have yourselves a good one.